It was a grey, wet morning as 12 M34s completed final boat provisions and bid farewell to a dockside crowd in Breskens, Holland this morning. The fleet is headed south, 142 nautical miles along the Dutch, Belgian, and French coast to Dieppe, France, and Normandy. The fleet has already reached Belgian waters, keeping their tactics focused on the strong current until the wind picks up. In less than 10 knots of wind, race favorites Sodebo, Courier Dunkirk, and Groupama 34 enjoyed excellent starts. The wind is forecasted to rise from 10 to 15 knots from the southwest later today. Sailors are anticipating a wet upwind ride for most of the coefficient 4 leg. The fleet should reach French waters by 6 p.m. this evening and arrive in Normandy after a bit more than 24 hours of racing around 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Head to www.tourvoile.fr to track the fleet's live positions as they battle south towards the French coast. The second offshore leg of the Tour de France à la Voile was an upwind tacking duel that began Wednesday morning beyond the sandy beaches of Breskens, Holland. With light wind on the nose, variable fog, and moderate sea state, the fleet departed in less than ideal conditions. Sodebo and Groupama took off with excellent starts, only 142 nautical miles upwind to Dieppe, France. The fleet sailed into the night. Off the coast of Dunkirk, the M34s battled foul currents, keeping watch for cargo ships and other obstacles in the night. Thursday morning, after a sleepless night on the rail, the sailors continued their upwind tacking duel against increased sea state, soaked to the bone. Breton Credit Mutuel led the front of the pack after picking the right side of a wind shift off the coast of Dunkirk. But once again, Franck Camas and the boys on Groupama worked their magic, leading Breton Credit Mutuel by 5 minutes. Groupama lead the temporary overall ranking, and Breton Credit Mutuel climbed to second place. Sodebo are third overall after finishing third. Courier Dunkirk dropped to fourth place overall, and Oman Sail dropped to fifth. Rookie Team Normandy barely lead the amateur ranking, tied for points with Iskaren.
Allez! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Today in Dieppe, France, the 12 teams of the Tour de France à la Voile completed 2 in-port races. The fleet sparred in light variable wind between 7 and 10 knots. For once, the sun came out to greet spectators that gathered on Dieppe's Pebble Beach, framed between the white cliffs of Normandy. It was a beautiful show from the outside, a string of sails on blue water, spinnakers rising and falling above the horizon, and boats lining up across the starting line. But for the sailors on board the M34s, it was a different world. One of tactical choices, fast and efficient maneuvers around bright marks, and race points to be won and lost. There was no time for relaxation as the boat sparred up and down the course. In both races, Groupama 34's expert ability once again earned consecutive first-place finishes. Sure, it's been the same story day after day for the press tent, but you can't deny that Franck Camas and his men sailed clean, fast, and smart. Well done. Courier Dunkirk, Sodebo, and Oman Sail are tripping over one another at the base of the podium, close together in the points game. Groupama may be out in the lead, but these 3 teams are at least keeping it interesting. It was a perfect day to fish, to catch some mackerel, and watch the races. For the fishermen whose workplace became a race course today, perhaps a bit of a nuisance, but in the end, it wasn't a bother for the German entry, Iskaren, after beating out Normandy to capture the lead in the amateur ranking.